Hey, son. Dad. Uh, I was thinking, you might want to know something about the men who preceded you. Um, I was going to tell you what I know. There's a book here. Um, when I die, maybe you'll grab it. It's all about the McLarty family. And that's got a lot of really good genealogical information. Um, but you know they're just charts and stuff. They don't tell you what people were like. So I was going to tell you about what some of your ancestors were like on your father's side. um, let's see, we'll start off with let's see, father, grandfather, my great grandfather, which would be your great great grandfather. Now this is basically the only information we have on him, and I don't have any information on anybody who uh, preceded him. So his father, his grandfather, they're all lost to time, what they were like. We got their names and their dates of birth and death and children, census stuff. But let's see, my grandfather's father. I've seen a picture of him. I don't know where it's at. Maybe it's here. He was a big man. And from what I understand, he ran like newspaper stands. And apparently he was very physically abusive to his son, one of the sons, my grandfather. And apparently my grandfather, he was born in the 1920s, to give you an idea. It's 100 years ago, Jesus. He ran away at like 13 or 14 because the abuse was so bad. Now, apparently, his father did not abuse his brother, which I always thought was strange, but so anyhow, I don't want to really cast him in a completely unfair light. This is just what little we know about him. I know a little bit more about my grandfather. Him and my father didn't get along very well. Let's see, my grandfather worked at docks, I think, same as your maternal grandfather, but this is your paternal grandfather. And he was a very quiet man. He took me to the beach one time. That's really the only memory I have of him, and unfortunately I got stabbed by a Portuguese man-o-war. So, and I just seen Jaws. I was like 7 or 8 years old, man. I'm still terrified of open water. Now, let's see. And then there was my father. Know a lot about him. Your grandfather. He was a very accomplished man, and probably the smartest man that I ever knew. He and I did not always get along. I can be a curmudgeon. I can be difficult. He was the same way. But I loved him. He had 2 careers. He was in the Army for 22 or 23 years, I want to say. Got to the rank of lieutenant colonel. Was a real big deal for a little while there. There's a picture here of him shaking hands with Henry Kissinger. And he helped design the M1 Abrams tank. He also met President Johnson, said he couldn't stand him. Your grandfather, he helped a lot of people in quiet. A lot of people got buried because of him, and I didn't see them at his funeral. I didn't see the families of the people he helped at his funeral. That's just people for you. But he was a hard ass too. I'm not gonna lie. But I miss him. Yeah, much better man than me. Not hard to say that. Not a lie. I do want to make special mention of your great uncle on your on my maternal side. This is still on your paternal side, but it's on my maternal side. Cecil McLarty, and he was a police officer in Mobile in the 1930s and 40s. And when Pearl Harbor was bombed, the family story is that the next day he was the first one to volunteer in the military, and he served in the European theater. And in 1945, and this is pretty badass, he was assigned to a special unit that hunted down Nazis in Germany, and they used hand x-rays, of all things, to confirm if this was a Nazi or not. I don't know anything more about it. I don't know how they got the x-rays, but that's what I've learned. And he would hunt down these Nazis with his squad and kill them. And there are still some Nazi memorabilia, mainly just buttons, I guess he got off of dead Nazis that he killed. Got off their jackets or something. There was a lot more, but his sister, Aunt Marion, a fascinating woman in her own right, she threw all his Nazi stuff away. Apparently they didn't get along. I'm not sure if she did that out of spite or what, but anyhow, he got wounded, got some shrapnel in his head, and he made it back to America, but a couple of years later that killed him. He was a very young man, but I mean, when I say young, 40-something, but he had 5 ex-wives, so he was a colorful character from what I understand. Cecil McLarty. I mentioned Marion, also maternal. Aunt Marion was a really smart woman. She was the first female railroad engineer in Alabama, from what I understand. She once was invited on a dinner date by Al Capone. It wasn't just them two. It was a party at his house, and she said he was a gentleman and very nice. And a lot of these historical figures, they're said to be awful people, and a lot of times they are, but they treat other people nice. Few people are completely evil. Morality is a difficult subject. Anyhow, this video is going on. I just wanted to let you know a little bit, because you might have questions, if you ever do. And I'm still here. Feel free to contact me. And just know that I love you. I miss you. I think about you every day, and I hope you're doing well in school, son.